If your business does $1 million or more a year and you're racing to build AI agents, you're almost certainly building the wrong ones first. I see it all the time. Smart operators, real businesses, they pick a use case that sounds good, they spend weeks building it, and then nothing changes. The revenue doesn't move, they don't buy back any time, and they're stuck wondering what exactly went wrong. And here's the thing, the tool that they used wasn't the problem, the diagnosis was. They skipped one very important question, and that question is the difference between solving a $15,000 problem and a $200,000 problem. I call this the constraint test, and I've run it with over 367 different businesses. And the pattern I keep seeing is that most companies skip this step entirely. They grab the shiny tool, they pick up a use case that sounds smart, and they start building, and then they wonder why nothing ever changed. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the test, give you a 3-step framework that you can follow to make sure you're building the right AI agent every time. And at the end, I've got a surprise for you, which is an AI tool that you can use to run this diagnostic on your own business in about 5 minutes. So stick around for that. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Joe Stolte. I'm a 6-time founder with 4 exits, including a company that went public for over $500 million. And I've helped over 367 companies install AI in their business. So I've learned exactly how companies fail when they adopt AI and what to do about it. So let's jump into it. Here's what it costs when you build the wrong agent first. So I was coaching a $6 million home services business. They were a good business, strong team. They had 3 weeks building an AI agent to handle inbound leads. And on paper, that sounded really smart, right? Like more leads, more revenue. But here's the problem. They were not demand constrained. They were supply constrained. They have more leads right now than they can even handle, so they don't need more leads. They need faster delivery. The agent they should have built is one that actually cuts their dispatch time in half. That's a $200,000 problem. The lead gen agent they built, that's a $15,000 change, and it's them attacking a problem that literally doesn't exist in their business. 3 weeks of work, they had the wrong agent, the wrong constraint, and the gap between those two numbers is massive. 200,000 versus 15,000. That's not a small miss. That's the difference between a game-changing quarter and a completely wasted one. And this is what I call building blind. You skip the diagnosis, you grab the tool that feels exciting, and you automate something that doesn't actually matter. And it's the most expensive mistake in AI happening right now. Not because the tech is wrong, the tech is fine. Again, it's the diagnosis that's wrong, and it happens to smart people and smart entrepreneurs. That home service company, they weren't dumb, they just didn't ask the right question first. And here's what you should do instead. 3 simple steps, it takes 5 minutes, and it's gonna save you weeks of building the wrong thing. Step 1, I want you to identify your constraint. Ask this simple but magical question. Is my business demand constrained or supply constrained? Demand constrained means you don't have enough leads, you don't have enough pipeline, or you don't have enough revenue coming in. The business can basically handle more, but the market isn't showing up. Supply constrained means that you have the demand, but you can't fulfill it fast enough, meaning you can't deliver. And if you've got double the sales, it would actually make your delivery implode. So pick one, and most businesses know the answer in about 30 seconds if they're being honest about it. And if you don't know where your constraint is, you should definitely not be building AI agents or workflows until you know what problem you're actually solving. Step 2, I want you to size the problem in dollars. And this is where most businesses skip ahead, and it costs you down the line. All you gotta do is take the bottleneck that you just identified and do some simple math, right? So how many hours per week does that constraint eat up across your team? Multiply that by what those hours actually cost you, then multiply that by 50 weeks. So let's say your onboarding of new customers eats 20 hours a week across your team, and your blended cost for those customer success agents is like $50 an hour. That's 20 times 50 times 50, that's $50,000 a year on one bottleneck. Now compare that to whatever shiny agent you were about to build and see if it still makes sense. The home services company I told you about, their supply constraint was costing them $200,000 a year in delayed jobs, lost repeat customers, and overtime costs. Their demand problem, again, 15,000 at most, and again, they didn't have a demand problem, so they were solving a problem that didn't exist. And when you see those numbers side by side, the decision literally makes itself. Step 3, I want you to build the agent that attacks the constraint. Not the one that sounds cool, not the one that you saw in a demo, the one that attacks the constraint. And honestly, who cares if your CRM came out with a new AI agent? If it doesn't solve your biggest constraint, it's just a distraction. Find the one that hits just the constraint that you identified with the dollars that you just calculated. Now you've got the diagnosis, now you've got the number, and you could point the tool at the problem and then go off and build. And that's the whole test. Identify the constraint, size it in dollars, build the agent that actually attacks it, and then everything else is noise. So let me show you what this looks like when someone runs the test and actually nails it. So Krista is one of our members in Prime Elite, and she runs a business that depends on getting people to show up to online workshops. Now that's her revenue model. People register, they show up, they buy. Now she could have built an AI agent for a dozen things around lead generation or follow-up or emails or content creation, all the usual stuff that people jump to and get distracted by. But she ran the constraint test first, and her biggest constraint wasn't getting more leads, it was show-up rate. People were registering and actually not showing up, and that's the bottleneck. So she built an AI voice agent that called every single lead before the workshop, a personal call for every single one of them. And on that call, they reminded each lead to, first of all, attend the workshop, then they resold them on the value by giving them a bonus for attending, and then got them to make a verbal micro commitment to confirm that they were going to show up. And this got her show-up rate to 36%. That's 16% higher than what most people consider best practice in her entire industry. And the agent made hundreds of those calls in real time, which is something a human literally could not do. So think about what that means. The same number of leads, the same offer, the same workshop, but way more people in the room. Now that's not a small improvement. That's a person they didn't need to hire and more revenue coming through her pipeline because she took the constraint test and applied AI to the right place in her business. But here's the thing, that agent only worked because she knew which bottleneck to hit. If she'd built a lead gen agent instead, she'd have more people registering and still not showing up. Basically more leads in a leaky bucket. The constraint test told her where the leak was and the AI plugged it once and for all. And that's the difference between building smart and building blind. So before you build your next AI agent, run the constraint test, demand or supply, size it in dollars, and then go off and build. That's the order that matters more than which tool you pick or how fast you move. Now, if you want some help figuring out exactly what agent that you need to build first, I want you to go to dmjoe.com and type the word constraint. I'll send you a free tool that runs this diagnostic for your business in under 5 minutes, and it's the same process I use with our members in Prime Elite. That link is also going to be linked up in the description below. And as always, if you have questions about any of this stuff, drop them in the comments and I'll respond to every single question personally. And of course, I'll see you on the next video.